Yes, it's time to leave YouTube. So guys, I'm just posting this video because last year many of you said, okay, Leland, if you ever go offline, please let us know. Guys, it's time to leave YouTube. It's time to go offline. This is what we've been anticipating for a long time. The work of this channel is coming to a conclusion, and we're going to finish up in the next couple months to where all the messages, the channel will be organized, and we'll have the content. We don't know what's going to happen with YouTube in the future, if the videos and the organization of the channel will continue, but there will be another backup on Rumble. So I strongly encourage you to go to the link in the description field, click on Rumble, the link on Rumble, sign onto Rumble, and then get the channel called House of David. It's on Rumble. It's going to back up the videos, okay? Very grateful to the subscribers that are helping me with backing up the channel, because if it doesn't, continue on YouTube and it is removed for whatever reason, there are videos that are being backed up. I also encourage you to download the videos yourself. You can find apps where you can just search on Google how to download videos from YouTube, and you can download videos. But what's necessary is to really organize the best we can the channel, the playlists, the information, so that you can get the information, you can keep it without having to, if we lose YouTube, basically, okay, you can keep the notes, you can keep the diagrams and the understanding of everything that we've been sharing as we come to a conclusion of almost 7 years. In a few months, it'll be 7 years, and that is the completion of this work. To the best of my knowledge, guys, that's what I'm anticipating as we head into this Pentecost season, that the work on YouTube will come to a conclusion, and we would be offline. Okay, so now I believe is the time to get offline, turn the devices off, get off YouTube, get off social media. So that's what I'm anticipating. So keep in mind, there will be a link to the Rumble. Okay, it's called House of David, but if you comment there, it's not me. Okay, I will be off social media. So YouTube will still be on. If they remove YouTube, then it's gone. Okay, but we do have the Rumble. So follow on Rumble. Okay, as well, we're gonna just explain in this video how the channel will be organized. We will have it may seem that the channel is just lots of video and very confusing, but there is an actual structure to it. We're going to organize all that. We're going to organize the notes. We're going to get all that completed in the next couple months. The next couple months, we anticipate that this work will come to a conclusion, and that the information will be organized for the people. So that's what we're anticipating, guys. Let's talk a little bit how the channel works, okay, how the playlists work in a general sense, and that way, and be patient, okay. The other thing, I'm going to explain some things in this video as an announcement that, yes, I'm leaving YouTube, okay. I'm only going to be on a couple months to finish up the content, all right, but be patient. The notes and the organization of the channel may take a few weeks, maybe even a few months, and then at which point I'll tell you, and then just go and get the PDF files, and if you want, just take them all. They'll be finished. Go to a print shop, print them in color, okay, get a note folder book, 3-ring binder, or whatever, however you want to do it, and organize all the notes, have them in sections, okay, so that you can keep this information. You'll notice in the last few months we've been posting videos more regularly. We've been posting things on the community tab to tell you what is coming up. So we only have a few more messages to conclude the message on the channel, to where there's a few things that you may ask. Well, you have all these videos. I don't know how many, almost 500, 600 videos. Is there anything you're changing from what you said, 6, 7 years ago? We will have any updates if necessary as we review the content. And if there's anything we need to update and say, okay, now it looks like this after we've seen the process of time, okay? So we'll have any updates, we'll have any concluding messages that we'll have, but essentially we have taught the whole book of Revelation. That is the purpose of the channel, is teaching on the book of Revelation, and that work is finished, okay? Basically how the channel works, so you understand, is the Most High first gave me a scroll called the House of David. That's the first playlist on the channel. It's called the House of David. So it's a mindset of the order of the House of David. When David would he talk about his tabernacle will be raised in the last days, okay? So that is how the channel started. I got that scroll. Then the Father told me, you will understand the book of Revelation. You will teach my people the scroll of the book of Revelation. So then, since then, that was about 7 years ago. Okay, so that's what's coming to, actually 6 years ago. So that's what's that work is coming to a conclusion. Okay, this is a work. This is a calling on YouTube, and now I'm going to get back to what I was doing when I started, and then as well, then just waiting. So thank you guys, love you guys, and thanks for following. Be sure to follow. Be sure to get the information, get the content, get the calendar. That's why we have the calendar going forward to 2024. We'll have everything available for you. Okay, as we conclude this message. Now, when we say the House of David, we're talking about the key of David, and we're talking about the temple. Now, in Christ's second coming, it's just going to be like his first coming, where the Jews rejected him. They faced destruction at 70 AD. Okay, same thing happens in the last days. The Christians, those that were supposed to believe in him as the Messiah, they forsake him, they believe in the Antichrist, they take the mark of the beast, and they face destruction. So we would see the same thing. Now, the stumbling block for the Christians is the fact that the millennium is not the new covenant. So, in the book of Revelation, it is the transition from what is the new covenant into the millennium, at which point the temple service is instituted. Okay? Once the temple service is instituted, the temple is open in heaven, as a foreshadowing of the Ezekiel temple in the millennium. Okay? So, what we've done in this channel is to explain the book of Revelation from that understanding, that mindset of all the stations in the temple, the altar of incense, the menorah, all of these stations, and all of the table, all of these things, the Ark of the Covenant, all of these things come into fulfillment in Christ's second coming in the book of Revelation, okay, as it transitions to the millennium. All right, so once you have that mindset, that's what the House of David is. Our first information of the scroll of the House of David is our first playlist. If you want to understand the channel, I encourage you to go and watch the House of David playlist first, okay? There's notes to it, okay? That is how this information started. And from that mindset of the House of David, of the temple, then we actually understand what's happening in the book of Revelation. So what's happening? You have 14 years. You have 14 years time from when the king sits upon the throne until the end at Armageddon. Okay, so really Armageddon is the whole time. It is the war, okay? The fake apostate Christians, okay, they partner with the Locust Army. But the real believers, they are the sixth trumpet army, okay? And they will assemble, okay, as a great multitude. All right, so you'll have that. All right, so that's what a summary is of the book of Revelation. You have 7 Ekklesia, councils, okay? 7 Ekklesia. And King James used the word churches, okay? There's 7 Ekklesia. That's a time period of 3.5 years. Then you have another time period, or we also call that the king sits upon the throne, or the coronation of the king. All right, then you have a time period of seals. Okay, there are 7 seals. So the Lamb opens 7 seals. Okay, and once those are completed, then you have 7 trumpets. Okay, once you have 7 trumpets are blown. Each period of time, okay, 7 churches, 7 seals, 7 trumpets, and 7 bowls. Each of those periods of time, when those are released, or is a period of time of 3.5 years. 3.5 years times 4 is 14 years. So it's a period of time of 14 years from when the king sits upon the throne till Armageddon. Okay? So the channel will basically segment the prophecies and everything according to those time periods. Not everything is going to fit, guys, because some of it transpires the whole time. Like Daniel's timeline goes through the seals, trumpets, and bowls. All right, so you can't just figure out a slot. But what we've tried to do is organize it in a way that you'll have a segment of time, and then you can focus on that segment of time. So the citizens of heaven, the 144,000, the 7 Ekklesia, okay, that is in the first 3.5 years. And then you can focus on that area of study with the house of David, okay? That is that beginning understanding of a fulfillment of Christ and how we become this Israel, okay? Because Israel, the 12 tribes of the children of Israel, okay, that order then will continue through the 144,000, and it concludes with New Jerusalem. New Jerusalem is after the millennium. I'm not going to explain all this stuff right now. I'm just concluding the whole channel, all right, and showing you how to get the information, okay? I'm going to show you how to search all the questions that you ask. All I do is search, get the video, and post it. I'm not going to answer and type a long note because I've covered virtually all of your questions. So all you have to do is know how to search, know how to find the information. It's all organized by playlists. Those playlists, all the playlists will come into those categories. Okay, understand? That's how the channel works. So let's do a summary. Let's show you that and how that looks as we have organized this. We'll also code this in a way for it to make sense. Now, let's summarize quickly how the channel works. In simplified terms, basically, there are things that we see related to the throne and the 4 cherubim. You see this in Ezekiel 1. Okay? This forms a pattern and a structure in a heavenly order. Okay? This heavenly order explains many things in the book of Revelation related to time. So, you'll notice in the videos, you'll see this diagram. They'll see these diagrams. So what is this? This is the menorah here, okay? And this is the chariot of the cherubim. These give us time. These give us the calendar. So you'll see these diagrams and you say, Leland, why are you always using these diagrams? Because it's a way of visually expressing the prophecy, okay? So for example, this is a pattern. We call this the house of David. Okay, you got the 4 cherubim, lion, ox, man, eagle, 12 tribes, 144,000. This is the heavenly order. Okay, we can express this in many ways, but this is the calendar. Now, if you look here, you can see the same order of the 4 living creatures and the wheels, and the 144,000 assemble in 12 tribes around. Okay, gates. New Jerusalem is the same way. Okay. So, first thing we come to terms with is the calendar. Okay, we need the right calendar. The right calendar is the Enoch calendar. So, it is the Enoch calendar we use on this channel to determine precise times of the feast and precise dates. Okay, so for an example, when it says 1,260 days, basically it's 3.5 years. And let's say for an example, we begin to count those. Okay, so this is the 9th month. This is Hanukkah, and if we were to count 3.5 years, we have 1 year, 2 year, 3 years and a half. So half, all we do is we go across, and you see that's the 3rd month. So 3.5 years from the 9th month is going to conclude at the 3rd month. That's when the channel is concluding, by the 3rd month. Okay? Same thing if you count 1,260 days. Let's say we count that from the 7th month. 1 year, 2 year, 3 years and a half. That will bring you to the 1st month. So the first thing we need in the order of the book of Revelation is key. The nail is the key to the house of David. That is this pattern here. And sometimes people ask me, where do you get these? Okay, all these diagrams here are in the book of Zechariah. So the menorah is in Zechariah chapter 4. The house of David is in Zechariah chapter 12. And this pattern here is the 7-sided stone that you see in Zechariah chapter 3. So, some people ask, where do you get these? These are diagrams in the Bible, okay? All right. Now, our next diagram, as you see, is a way of visually expressing the 14 years of the book of Revelation, of the apocalypse, beginning to end of the 14 years, going from Revelation chapter 1 to Revelation chapter 19. It's a 14-year period, began in 2010, okay, when the Lamb sits upon the throne. So how the channel works is each section of time, each segment, beginning here, is 3.5 years. Year 1, year 2, year 3, it's 3.5 years. In the 3.5 years, we're going to have all the playlists that discuss the prophecy related to that period of time. So it's the 7 Ekklesia, the king sits upon the throne, okay? Now those playlists, okay, is what we can see here. All right, so here what you can see is these are the playlists that are associated to that period of time, okay? So if we get that on the screen so you can see, there you can see the time, you can see the playlist. All right, we have the coronation. We're calling this the coronation of the king. The whole playlist, the king sits upon the throne. The Lamb reigns 1,260 days. That's the heavenly order around the throne when the Lamb begins his heavenly ministry at 3.5 years in the book of Revelation, chapter 1, 2, and 3. Actually 4 and 5 as well. So you have the 7 Ekklesia playlist, you have the House of David playlist, the Manchild, Citizens of Heaven. Okay, that is this heavenly order. Most of the things take place in heaven. Okay, but that is the information that we have of all the playlists associated with that period of time. Now, what we'd like to do is code that in a way that makes sense. Now, the way we'd like to categorize all these videos in these playlists is by drawing a circle, a simple circle. So when you look at the title of each video, what we'll do is we'll go through all the videos and we'll put this categorization of this era with the circle, okay? Now the next one is the seals. So again, in the first 7 years, okay, we covered the 3.5, we had talked about that, and now we have the next 3.5, okay? And the Lamb opens the seal. So when the Lamb opens the seal, what we have done is organize all the playlists according to that. Now, the way we want to categorize this is before we had a circle, we'll have a circle, a filled-in circle like this. So what we'll do is the videos and the playlists, in the title of the playlist and the title of the videos, will have this categorization of the filled-in circle. And this will tell you that essentially what we're doing is covering the area of time called the seals. Okay? So seals happen with the blood moons. You have the 4 blood moons. Okay? And the playlist associated with this time in this category is the Lamb opens the seals. This is seals 1 through 5. Okay? Lamb opens the seals. Then you have the 144,000. So Vashti is divorced. The church is divorced. And then you have Esthers Preparation. Okay, you have Esthers Preparation, and you can see the virgins are gathered to Shushan. Okay, and then Esther has preparation for 1 year. She has preparation for that 1 year of myrrh and sweet odors. Now, inevitably people will ask, this was back in 2016, okay, and you say, well, I didn't do anything. It doesn't matter, guys. There's just one, this is just the prophecy says this. Many people had things happen to them related to this time. Many other people didn't wake up till years later. It's okay. When they labored in the vineyard, it didn't matter the time or the hour. The result was the same. 1 denarian, okay? So, we got the Lamb opens the seal, 144,000, Esthers Preparation. We have the 6th seal playlist. We go through everything in the 6th seal. At this time, okay, we have the forerunner Antichrist. That's Obama. Okay, we have a whole playlist on the significance of Obama in Daniel chapter 8 as a pre-runner little horn. Okay? We never said Obama was the Antichrist. There's a little horn, a forerunner, little horn that's in Daniel chapter 8. This is very important for the interpretation of Daniel's timeline. So you see here, it says Daniel's timeline. And this is what we've been showing you over the years, that the 2,300 days, it happens twice. Okay? You would have a period of time, okay, when Obama, all right, when he was president, he was fulfilling things as a pre-runner, Antichrist, John the Baptist figure, okay, 790 days. That leads to the beginning of the tribulation, September 22nd, 2017. And then we have critical dates here in Daniel's timeline, and we'll get to that in future videos. So this is Daniel's timeline, which began in the seals. We had our trigger event, which happened the host trial and the Baphomet statue, July 25th, 2015, triggered all this, okay? So that's the Daniel's timeline and the time period of the seals. So this is the first 7 years. So 7 years, good years, 7 bad years, okay? All right, so that brings us to this time period. We have the tribulation period. So we get to the tribulation period, we get the trumpets. Okay, so the seals concluded, and now we end up back here, the Revelation 12 sign, we get the trumpets. Okay, and then what we have is we have all the playlists associated with the 7 trumpets. Okay, you can see them here, the 7 trumpets, and what we'll do is we'll code those with the square. So then the videos and the playlists that are associated with this era of time, we'll have a square to describe that. Now you can see you got a lot of information here. There's a playlist called the 7 trumpets, okay? But there's other significant things that happen. There's a playlist of the woman clothed with the sun. There's a playlist with the 5th trumpet army, the Locust Army, okay? So this is Armageddon. It's a pre-runner to Armageddon with the Locust Army, okay, the apostate church. And then the 6th trumpet army is the great army, the real believers, okay? You have trumpet is the Antichrist playlist. You have Revelation 13, the first beast, okay? You have a playlist called the Church in Tribulation. You have the 7 thunders. You have the playlist of 1,335 days. You have the peace deal and the mark of the beast. All of this has happened precisely in the prophecy. Now, if you're blind and ignorant and you can't see this, I don't know what to tell you. That I'm just doing my job. So these are all the prophecies related to this significant period of time. You can see them here: daily sacrifice, Antichrist begins 42 months, the peace deal, mark of the beast. Okay, all covered, all right, covered in great detail. Now, that brings us to the last period of time, okay, is the bowls. Okay, so then you have the bowls. Basically, the bowls at this point would include playlists on the 7 bowls, Armageddon, okay, and I think that's really it, actually, guys. So I didn't really make a whole list like the other ones because there's only a couple. So basically what we're getting at is that the work that we're doing covers mostly the period of time of the first 7 years in this period of time here of the first half of the tribulation. That's okay. And so what we're doing is we're concluding here on 1,335 days. That's when the channel will be complete. Now, just to be clear, this is what I'm anticipating, okay? Once I'm completed with this work, I won't be on social media. Keep in mind, please go and follow the Rumble account in the description field, okay? But keep in mind, that is subscribers. So if you ask questions to me, okay, I'm not going to answer them because I'm not maintaining that channel. So I anticipate going offline and this work being finished, okay? I'm going back to where I started back, boy, what was it, 9 years ago, okay? Now, many of you ask me, can I have your email? For security reasons, no, I'm not giving out my email. Can we be in touch? No. If we're in touch already, that's great. But for security reasons, no, I don't give out my email. Okay, another question might be, Leland, does this mean you're one of the two witnesses? No, it doesn't mean I'm one of the two witnesses. I cannot travel to Israel unless some miracle, okay? It doesn't mean I'm one of the two witnesses, okay? What it means is this is the work, this is the job I've been doing, okay, for 7 years, okay? This is it. I'm completing that work. If I have another assignment or something else has changed, I'll keep you informed. Those of you who follow this channel, you know that last year, okay, I was shut off from all connection for 3 weeks. When was that? That was Pentecost. Okay? It was the Feast of Weeks. It was precisely the Shabbat before Pentecost. So that was an indication to me that, okay, everything was shut down. All my devices were shut down. I had no communication. Okay? And that's what's going to happen again, I'm anticipating. Okay? So the work is finished. Okay? Please just get the content, get the information. Okay? In the description field will be how the channel works. Let's also explain this. We're not finished with organizing everything. I realize there's links that don't work with the notes. There's notes that are not good quality. Through the process of time, we'll clean that up. We'll organize that. We'll code it in the ways we described it to you. It's going to take some time and some work. So what I would suggest you do is don't straight away just print off all the documents right now, today. Once we get that cleaned up, we get quality notes, things organized, later on, we'll say, okay, now go ahead, print all this off, get it in color, get this information. Even if you don't get the videos, get the notes. How the channel works is very simple. The whole channel does not have my thoughts, what I think, my ideas. It doesn't have that. The whole notes is only the Bible. The whole channel is only the Bible. All it is taking the Bible in one place, putting it in another, and letting it explain itself. Okay? Now, what we do is you have two witnesses, but we expect the prophecy is very important, so you have more than two witnesses. You have multiple witnesses, okay? 3, 4, many prophecies. So you can see that's all that the whole channel is. All I'm doing is reading the Bible, okay? That's all that's happened over this whole time. Yet, the Most High says he will send his servants early. Okay, so what that means is he sends them early, and they won't listen. They won't hearken. Okay, most of you, it doesn't matter what I say. You'll never listen. Okay, I understand that. That's why, we're just putting the content. It's up to you. It's you to decide what tree you want to eat from. Okay, it's you to decide what you're going to do with the seal of God or the mark of the beast, all right? So it's up to you. It's your decision. It's your choice, all right? Now, the things we have explained, okay, in the prophecy happened early. What that means is it happened before the time. So we explained before the Antichrist. We explained before the mark of the beast. We explained before the tribulation, okay? We explained all this going back 6 years in some cases, when the mark of the beast would have to be effect, the seals, the trumpets, the bowls, all right? This isn't new. We're just completing all that work, Daniel's timeline, the book of Daniel, book of Revelation, all of that, okay? So, thanks for watching, and be patient. Later on in a video, we'll say, okay, we've completed the notes, we completed everything. In the description field of the video, we'll show you the playlist, the things that we're at, okay? And then once it's completed, we'll say, all right, now go ahead, print off the notes and get everything, okay? So thanks for watching, guys. God bless you.